Are you ready to be great? Stop letting self-doubt, insecurity, and fear prevent you from building your business. This morning, wake up to success. Here's John Preston.
Good morning. Thanks for joining us here on Wake Up to Success. If you were with us yesterday, you know I made a sports reference to the warm-up and the importance of warming up before a sales pitch or presentation if you're really wanting to perform at your best. Well, today I'm going to continue on that theme and talk about practice. It's one thing that almost none of us do as much as we need to. Practicing our sales pitch and our presentation until we master it. For most of our businesses, the most important thing that we can do is to get in front of a customer and convince that customer that we can help them and that they should partner with us and become a customer. That is the key to growing a business, is to get more customers. And yet, we spend absolutely no time practicing that pitch. When I was in college, I was a competitive public speaker, and I did an event called After Dinner Speaking, which was sort of a combination of information and stand-up comedy. And I did a speech my last year on triskaidekaphobia, which was the fear of the number 13. So every event we went to, I would have to do the speech 3 or 4 times, sometimes as many as 6 or 7, and it would always be the same. So I spent hours practicing that speech so that every nuance of the speech was exactly the same every time. I mean, I stepped on the same words, I leaned forward, I gestured, everything was verbatim. By the end of the year, if you had put in 2 versions of that speech side by side, they would have been in perfect sync. And I knew that I needed to do that to be at my best. And I'm so amazed at how business owners and salespeople don't take the time to master their sales pitch and their presentation. Because here's the thing, if we don't do it the same way every time, then we start thinking during the presentation. And most of us, if we have to think about what we're going to say next, come across as if we don't know what we're talking about. If we come across as if we're not confident in what we're talking about. And a perception of lack of knowledge and lack of confidence in the product very seldom results in sales. But when you know exactly what you're going to say, because it's the same as you did last time and the time before and the time before and the time before, then suddenly you're able to maintain a high energy. You come across as very confident. You know your stuff, and the customers can see that and pick up on that. And also, if you're not having to think about what you say, you can also be absorbing what the customer is doing much more effectively. You can read those little buying cues better and prepare yourself because you're not having to think about your presentation. And it's going to not only be better, but it's going to result in more sales because now you're able to do the things that you really need to do to make a sale that go beyond just the words you say in your sales pitch. And the next thing you know, the number of customers you have are increasing and the number in your business is growing. I mean, we cannot imagine ever seeing a professional athlete who only showed up at game time. The thought that Tiger Woods in his heyday would have only hit golf balls during actual tournaments is crazy. To think that Larry Bird was the great shooter that he was without practicing in the off hours on his shot is just absurd. But most of us think business doesn't work that way, that I don't need to practice. But let me tell you, the great ones do. The ones who grow their business, just like in the sports, the ones who achieve things that normal folks don't, are the ones that practice and get better and get better and get better. And in our case, make more sales.